This map illustrates a footprint of 5.5 million square kilometers. This is the true scale of the Amazon rainforest, a massive terrestrial zone stretching across 8 different South American countries. Inside that border sit roughly 400 billion individual trees. The canopy they form is so dense that direct daylight rarely makes it to the ground, leaving the forest floor in a state of permanent darkness. To drain a region this size, the jungle relies on a massive water network, anchored are the Amazon River, which collects the area's relentless rainfall and constantly drives it toward the ocean. This combination of unfathomable geographical scale and total darkness creates an environment that feels entirely alien to human survival. Down on that dark forest floor, the biological threats are microscopic but extreme. The bullet ant, seen here, gets its name for a specific reason. A single sting from this insect delivers excruciating pain, comparable to an actual gunshot. The murky water conceals equally violent defenses. The electric eel strikes by generating a massive 860-volt shock, instantly paralyzing its targets in the river. These predators do not operate on malice. They operate purely on the brutal mechanics of survival. Together, they form a biological barrier that naturally repels human intrusion. But these deadly animals are only the outer guard. They command our attention, distracting us from inexplicable anomalies buried much deeper within the jungle. If we move deep into the isolated territory of the Peruvian Amazon, the expected rules of this ecosystem collapse. Hidden within the dense vegetation is a 6.5-kilometer-long river that perpetually emits thick columns of steam and smoke into the jungle air. This thermal data scale highlights the contradiction. While a standard jungle river averages a cool 25 degrees Celsius, the water in this specific location spikes straight to 100 degrees. It maintains a rolling boil all year round. The water is immediately lethal. Any small animal unfortunate enough to slip from the bank and fall into the current is boiled alive in seconds. Finding a geological trap of this magnitude right in the middle of a dense forest proves the Amazon hides extremes just as deadly as its apex predators. Millions of gallons of standard cool water flow naturally through the rest of the vast Amazon network every single day, making this isolated, boiling tributary a complete outlier. Heating a river of this size requires a massive geothermal event, which almost always necessitates the presence of active volcanoes. Yet there are no volcanoes anywhere in this region. Despite all our modern geological mapping, researchers still cannot confirm exactly what subterranean mechanism continuously produces enough heat to keep this massive volume of water boiling. The boiling river proves that the dense canopy is a nearly impenetrable visual barrier, capable of shielding massive, unexpected features from our view for centuries. To see what else is hidden, we have to pull miles above the forest floor and enter low Earth orbit. From this altitude, satellite imaging strips away the chaotic visual noise of the green canopy, exposing the bare surface of the Earth lying underneath. That orbital perspective reveals massive, highly organized geometric markings etched directly into the dirt. These patterns are so vast that they remain entirely invisible to anyone standing inside the forest. Changing our vantage point from the ground to the sky destroys the illusion of the Amazon as an unorganized, chaotic wilderness. We call these structures geoglyphs. Notice the perfectly circular trenches and straight lines deliberately carved into the terrain here. The sheer size of these carvings is staggering. Individual shapes stretch up to 1.5 kilometers wide, and satellite scans have identified over 300 distinct markings so far. Laying out precise geometric shapes on a kilometer-wide scale requires advanced mathematics and intensive ancient human engineering. Natural erosion does not carve perfect circles. These permanent, mathematically exact structures stand out sharply against the small, uncontacted nomadic tribes that inhabit the exact same stretches of forest today. The Amazon hides a forgotten archaeological frontier beneath its canopy. Subscribe for Part 2, where we investigate who engineered these massive structures and how they managed to tame such a lethal environment.